Oh man, I am back from another Nerf Meetup / war. If you guys remember, we went to my first one here last month, which was awesome, and this one was even more ridiculous. Probably, I don't know, 65 people. I mean, I kind of lost count at one point. It usually kind of ramps up and then dies down, but at the peak, there was just a ton of people. Now, it is a mixture. It is everything from kids to, you know, to preteens, to teens, to adults, to older, you know, it's all over the board, and all of the skill levels are all over the board as well. And they try to like mix up the teams so that, you know, you have a mixture of each. And what's awesome is my crew was about 12 deep, everything from kids to preteens to teens to adults. And, you know, I made a video here of all the stuff that I was bringing because I don't know what they're going to want to use. You know, sometimes they go with these or these or these. You never kind of know. So some people were like, oh, why are you bringing so much? I'm like, because I got a lot of people to supply stuff for. And what's nice too is I know a lot of those blasters, they're not going to use them all. And so I had a lot of people come up to me and say, hey, you know, could I try that? Could I test it out? Or, you know, whatever it may be. Or maybe they're looking at it and I say, hey, you want to try that? So it's nice being able to, you know, let individuals try different blasters on the market so they can see if it's something that they like, or maybe it's a step up from something they have and maybe they want to shoot a little bit farther or something like that. But yeah, that is why I bring a lot of blasters, is because I have a lot of people to kind of have blasters ready for. So with that said, during this too, if you guys remember, you know, there was a lot of stuff that I wanted to give away, whether it's finding prizes or whatever it may be, and I had a lot of stuff. I mean, going down there, I had a lot of stuff. I probably had about 20 prizes, something like that, and what I did is ended up hiding Easter eggs on the field, or my helpers did. They hid Easter eggs on the field with a little letter inside, and they would be out of the field. We put like 1 or 2 out there at different times in the day, and someone would come up, they would bring me the Easter egg, and they'd roll a 20-sided dice. And based upon what they roll, I would look down the list to see what the prize was. And so they could win all kinds of things. Now, man, I don't even remember all the prizes, but I gave away a ton. All you guys found those things, again, from new Nerfers to actually beginning people who just showed up. They came over and they were asking me, they're like, hey, what's going on here? I was like, oh, you know, this is a Nerf meetup. Here's how I know about it. Here's where you go if you want to know more. And they actually found one of the eggs, or one of them, in the thing, and they actually won a Nexus Pro, which is friggin' awesome. And I think the other one, or one of them, or one of those guys also won an Aeon Pro, which is very, very cool. And what happened is they won that before lunch. They went out, I think, to Walmart during lunch, and they bought a whole bunch of other blasters. They're like, look, man, they're like, it's changed my life. This is awesome. And I was like, look, hey, you found those eggs. I didn't tell you about them. You found them. You won it fair and square. It is what it is. And they're like, man, this changed my life. This is awesome. And that's, for me, what it's all about. But here's a bunch more stuff that I kind of wanted to go over. Is I gave away a ton of the XFB ones, my bungee blasters, version 1.5s and version 1s. Gave a bunch of those away. The X shot box, just a ton of stuff. But you know, it kind of fills my heart, right, when, you know, someone's out there and you're just playing. It could be a young kid, it could be a dad, whoever. They come up and they're like, check it out. They're kind of shy, and I'm like, hey, no problem. Here, come on in. Let's roll that 20-sided die. And, you know, I'm like, okay, here's what you got. Check it out. You know, maybe not something like this yet, but it was very, very cool prizes, and it just makes me happy to see individuals who are either new to the sport, or some of the people that came up to me and won some of this were actually experienced players, and they got some of my XFB ones. And I thought it was just awesome seeing that kind of across the board. Everybody there has such a great attitude. I love it. It just makes me feel good that I'm able to give or supply something to somebody that otherwise, you know, I've done a review on, or maybe I got 3 or 4 in a review, and I did a review on 1 or 2 of them, and I got 2 extra. It's not going to do me any good just sitting on my floor. I'm going to give these out to other people in our community so they can be like, oh man, you know what? Yeah, now I have a blaster. I can come to this and just play, right? But it was awesome seeing that group of individuals coming back from Walmart after lunch with a bunch of blasters. I was like, oh my gosh, that is awesome. But I wanted to talk about some of the standouts again in the arsenal. If you guys want to watch all the stuff I brought there, you guys can check it out. But I want to talk about some of the standouts and, again, how they performed for me. So one of the big ones is the Nightingale. This is like a crowd absolute favorite. Now, these are pretty cheap, you know, about $100-ish bucks if you don't have a battery, and hopefully you don't need a LiPo charger, but about $100, and these shoot about 125. Grab a couple mags, they're super cheap, about 10 bucks. And these are great. I mean, these are great for kids. These are great for adults, experienced players, because they're just a single trigger pull, and they shoot very, very well. Now, they are kind of windy. You know, they wind up pretty loud, but still, they're light, they're easy to run with, and they're super easy to operate. Every one of these, I got a lot of these, and they were pretty much taken every single time, whether the kids were wanting to dual wield them, whether, you know, the little ones wanted to be able to shoot, but they are super easy to operate, and I just found them to be an absolute crowd favorite. So I do recommend them. I haven't had any issues with them unless they were my own, right? Batteries dead, things like that. The Worker Phoenix 2.0, still an absolute standout. I typically will shoot this, or I have my mode set for single shot as well as double shot. The double shot is absolutely brutal, guys. It is so good that the grouping on it is so tight that you can get really close, but this is one of my favorites. I only let a few select people use this. I don't let too many people use it, but it is one of my favorites. And of course, with the our suppressors, you guys can check them out here. These things are absolutely super cheap. Now, they don't help you with accuracy. I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh yeah, you put this on and you're gonna be so much better. No, just there for looks, and it just, for me, it actually helps me aim a little bit, but still, I think it looks really, really cool on the Phoenix 2.0. This thing is an absolute workhorse. I do use the MK3 from time to time. I think it's a great blaster. I am going to modify this a little bit more. One of the things that bugs me is I always hit the main mag release right here on accident at the worst times. I'm behind a tree, I hit it, the whole thing falls out, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I am definitely going to modify this. I did modify the main mag release here, or the mag release, but then the main adapter release I definitely have to do. And I think I'm gonna print these shortened muzzles a little bit just to kind of narrow this thing down, but the MK3s have been workhorses as well. I did have one that had a weird rev trigger sticking issue. I gotta click it a bunch before it's undone, so I gotta check out that. Now, I didn't get to use this. I wanted to, but those pesky shields, I wanna blow them up for the whole round. So I need a better strap over the chest so I can just put this thing over my back so I can sling it and just plow a shield with one of these things. But yeah, I didn't want to go over all the blasters, but these ones were standouts during this war. But, you know, man, every time one of these wars happens, it gets bigger and better, and I'm glad I can be there and meet a bunch of you guys again that I've seen from previous battles, meet you guys, say hi, and it's always just a fabulous time every time that I see people that I know or people that come up and say hi. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'm always kind of curious on what your guys' favorite blasters are, which ones you guys think I should try in my next wars. I do got a bunch that I'm going to try at my next wars. I just got to make them a little more user-friendly. That black on gray ain't going to do good. So that was my overview. A great time. Again, I applaud everybody who put it on. They are great individuals. Thanks again, Fox fam.